What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I do appreciate you guys joining in with me today. You guys read the title. We're going to be sitting here talking about top 2 knots that I feel that can be universal when it comes to knot tying. Whether it's on the water, off the water, you can still use these knots, period. And I do feel that these two, I know there's a lot more knots out there. If you guys do more research, of course, you'll find a bunch of different knots. So I'm just going to go over 2. If you guys can follow my series along about the Bass Fishing for Beginners course, or crash course, and I'll leave that link, I think it's to my left. I'll leave a link to that playlist up above, so you guys can definitely go check that out. But today, like I said, you guys will be learning about the top 2 knots that I use, that I don't stray from. These are my main 2. Actually, the first one I'm going to talk about, I use it for a conjunction knot between braid and flouro. But that's a whole other topic and video. But again, I'm going to go over, like I said, my favorite 2 knots. I'm going to give you guys a demonstration of the strength of these knots, how they can be applied, and all that. You guys get the full gamut here. So let's get to it. All right, so I'm going to talk about 2 different types of knots. Like I said, my favorite 2 knots, the 2 that I go to all the time. Right now I have a swim jig by Beast Coast here. I think it's a Booyah frog. Well, Booyah Baits. A frog from Booyah Baits. And these are just, when I say, I'm using these as examples. Let's say if I tie this one to fluorocarbon and I tie this on the braid. Don't get me wrong, yes, this can be tied on the braid as well. Don't get me wrong. But the point I'm talking about here, let's say, like I said, this one over here is going to be my fluorocarbon knot. This one over here is going to be my braid knot. The one I'm going to use for fluorocarbon is called a Uni Knot. I'm going to show you using this right here, this little eyelet that I have here, and this paracord. I'm going to show you using this, how I tie, a Uni Knot. So Uni Knot is the first one that I like tying for fluorocarbon. So for braid, it's going to be totally different. I'm going to tie something called a polymer knot. Okay, some guys choose to tie a bunch of other different knots for their baits, but I've yet to break a fish off with a Uni knot, and I've yet to break a fish off with a polymer knot, using, on braid. Now, yes, you can use a Uni knot on braid. Totally up to you. It does work, and I'll show you. I'll do a strength test, like literally right now in this video coming up, for both. So you guys can see, the strength of both of these. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. Once you, yank on a bait, that strength or that split second of moment is going to be ridiculously high for, the pressure on that knot itself in comparison to a controlled test of just weight on a knot, period. But it was just for, eyesight comparison, I guess you would say, for what a knot is supposed to have or supposed to be able to handle. In comparison to what it really can handle. So we're going to start first with the Uni Knot. Like I said, when I tie fluorocarbon, I'm going to show you once with the little eyelet here and the paracord. And then I'll actually show you guys what it looks like nice and close, if we can get a focus here, when I tie fluorocarbon onto the regular knot. So this little eyelet here represents, what you'll be tying onto on your baits. And each bait has something that looks like this. Well, majority of them. So first, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I tie a Uni knot using this paracord and this little eyelet here. So like I said, let's say that eyelet is your top of your bait. I'm right-handed. I usually like starting with the bait or hook. This goes for, if you're tying Texas rig too, same thing. I usually put that in my left hand, personally. It just makes it a little easier. All right, so I'll have that bait. I know I can take this out, but I usually have this bait sitting in my left hand or a hook. And the goal here of the Uni Knot is to literally connect this line here. As you can see, I only went through once. Nothing too special here. I literally just go in once. Doesn't matter the side or direction. Usually go in, and I'll put that bait in my left hand, just like that. I have this line, the main line here, main line, and your tag line, just like this, right? So the main line, can I be holding this? Tag in will be in my right hand. And the simplest thing I can tell you is, you see how my hand is facing upward? What I do is grab that tag line, and I go from upward, and I do a little reverse here, okay? That's all I did, just go straight over. And the goal here is to make a hoop, make its own hoop, okay? So nothing too special there. I literally just took that tag line and just turned my hand over and connected 1, 2, 3 together, and with my thumb and my first finger to make its own hoop. Okay. The goal here is to, like I said, connect these two together. Okay, connect those two lines together. So once I brought that around, made its own loop, I'll take this tag line right here, or tag in, I'll wrap it around and through the hoop. Okay, based on what bait I'm throwing, a bait with a little heavier hook like this one, I'll probably wrap it, I don't know, 7, 8 times. So you'll take this tag in, like I said, you'll wrap it around and through the hole itself. Again, the goal here, let me not move too fast. The goal here is to make sure you connect the two lines together. Okay, that's all you're doing. And I didn't necessarily count this right here, but like I said, a small, like a crankbait or something like that, I'm only wrapping 5, 6 times. Something that's like a little heavier, like a jig or something. Not to say, yeah, I could do a jig minimum 8 times. If I do like a big bait, like a swim bait or something like that, I'll wrap this thing 10 times. Once you wrap it 7, 8 times through that hole, right? Wrap these two, wrap those two lines together. You go through the hole about 7, 8 times. You'll take that tag in, and what you'll do, you'll wet your line. I'm not going to wet this paracord. When I say wet it, put it in your mouth, add saliva to it, okay? That's wetting the line. You take this tag in, then you start to pull it up towards your main line. I'm not going to pull it too tight because this thing will get nice and strong and tight, right? So that'll initially make your knot. Then what you do with your main line, after you pull this up to a semi-knot, again, make sure all this is wet. All this must be wet, okay? You grab your main line, the one that's attached to your fishing rod, and you'll pull that main line. I don't want to pull it too tight because I want to keep using this as an example. Because this knot is going to get very strong. The stronger it's pulled, the tighter it will get. Okay? From that point, you'll cut off your tag in, and you're ready to go. Hook or bait is ready to roll. I'm going to show you that one more time. Just like I said, if I had like a frog or, well, maybe not frog. Crankbait. Right now we're using a swim jig. I would lay that bait just like that. Okay, right in my hand. So lay the bait left hand. Like I said, if you're left-handed, then swap this. I apologize, I'm not left-handed. But so tag in. All we want to do is make its own hoop. I'll grab this line like this. Take my hand, just rotate it over. That's all I do. Whoop. Okay. Then you connect that line. Connect your first finger of your thumb to connect 1, 2, 3 lines together. Okay, or 3 pieces of the line. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and you just hold it right there. Bloop. Make sure everybody's nice and together. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, I just like being neat, I guess. You want to take this tag line and combine these 2 lines together. That's the goal. Okay, so we put that through. That's a 1. And I like to hold this, my middle finger here, hold the bait with these bottom 2, okay? Middle finger goes here. So you can do your maneuvering with your first 2, pointer finger and your thumb, okay? It makes it a lot easier. So you can grab, twist and go. That's all we're doing here, okay? I'll back out just to make sure everyone's good. Go through the hoop. Take this line here, rotate your hand over to make its own hoop, its own little circle. Then I like putting my middle finger through this one, middle finger, well, I'll hold this down a little bit, but middle finger through here as well. And give myself a little more leeway. And you guys will get used to, how much line you need to make this occur. But that's what I'll do. The goal is to put this line through this hole 7 to 8 times, okay? So let's say I did that 8 times. Again, wet it. Wet this area here. Take that tag in. Pull it up towards your main line. Just so it starts to make a good little knot there. Again, this should already be wet. I take my main line. And take my main line. Pull it away from the bait or the hook. Like I said, that slides down just like that. Love these things, man. I feel that you can break a line first before you'll break a piece of metal. Okay, and I got a whole video, why I use this, why I like it a lot, whatever. So the same concept goes. Usually people tie in right here at the hoop of the bait. But I, since I'm using snaps over here, I'm tying at this one. Okay. As I said, it's kind of hard to show with fluorocarbon line, or any line for that matter. But all right, so I got my fingers in place, ready to keep wrapping this line around the 2. Oh, this is so much harder with fluoro to even see it. But like I said, about 7-8 times around and through. I don't even know how many that was. But I'm about to wet this area. Okay, wet that area before you tighten it. Not saying slobber it down like your high school sweetheart or anything like that, but just make sure it has some saliva on it. So I got it pretty much almost knotted there. I'm going to grab this main line. Just pull up. You see how she cinches down real nicely. Boom, boom, boom. No problem. And you're not going to never pull as hard as you can. Okay. That is not the basis of this. You want to just get it nice and snug. Just a little, a couple taps here and there. You'll be just fine. Okay. So you take your little tag in there. You go ahead and snip that right off. Beautiful. Doesn't have to be the smallest thing in the world. You guys, if you guys can see that, doesn't have to be the smallest snip in the world. You say, I'm fine with that hanging off. No worries. If a fish sees that, man, they deserve to go in the Olympics. I don't know for what, but they shouldn't be able to see that at all. Okay. But that's a Uni Knot. And like I said, this knot can be applied to braid as well. All right, so I never tried this before. So what I have here, just tied this up. So when I'm saying I tied this up, I have, it's a scale. So what I did was tie a Uni Knot. So we're 0, 0, right? I tied a Uni Knot on the bottom of this and a Uni Knot to, I don't know if you guys can see it, right there to this gas tank. So just so it's not a hoax or anything. If I can open. This is a full gas tank, okay? You guys can see. Oh, look, you seen the shine? There it goes. Okay. All right. Don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so a Uni Knot to the scale, Uni Knot down to that. I have no clue how much that weighs. But this right here is 15-pound line that I tied to this. So the word is it's supposed to break at 15 pounds. At least that's what I heard. So what we're going to do is do a strength test. Let's try to get you guys a good view before I start pulling. So I was at 0, right? So we're going to start pulling slowly because I really want to see how much we get. I'm still going. This takes some strength and focus. I can hear the line tingling. Ah! They look like 12. So that's 12 pounds worth of pressure. And look at that. The actual line, I don't know if you can see my line floating around. The line broke, not my knot. Where's my other knot at? Right here. That's my other knot. Both Uni Knots are there. The line actually broke itself. So you guys seen it live. That was, played straight through. The line itself broke. I'm not going to tell you, whose line this is that didn't make it to 15 pounds. But regardless, you guys seen it. It looked like it broke around about 12, maybe closer to 13 pounds. Again, I'm not sure how much that gas tank weighs, but Uni Knot, this was boiled down. I mean, how many loops I put on that? I think I put 10 there, and I put 10 on this, just because I know I was handling some heavy weight. Like I said, I'll usually put more loops on heavier baits, swim baits, maybe a jig. I'll do like 8 to 10. I've never gone over 10, but smaller baits, 5 to 7 loops, and bigger baits, like I said, probably 10, period. But yeah, I'm going to do the same test with braid. I'm going to tie it. Oh, that's going to be difficult to tie that to that. We'll figure it out. And I'll show you right now exactly what I mean by what knot I want to tie with a braid. Okay, so knot number 2. Look at that. Isn't that great? That's called a frog attached to your hand. I don't know how I did that. Whatever. So knot number 2, it's actually 4 frogs. Well, knot number 2 is called a polymer knot. And 9 times out of 10, I use it with my braid lines. When I tie on a frog, when I tie on a swim jig sometimes, braid, depending on the water clarity. I'm sorry, jigs, depending on water clarity. I will tie a jig on to braid line, depending on the water clarity. In a couple other situations, I top water baits mainly top water baits when I use braid. Okay. So again, I tie a polymer knot. That's the second knot that I use that it's always worked for me. So again, I'm going to show you guys what I usually do or how I tie my polymer knot. So we're going to get rid of this situation. So again, top little eyelet that you're going to see, at the top of your baits, right? So let's go with this frog, for example. And there's your line. So again, my bait's going to sit in my left hand. I like to operate with my right hand. Okay. So what I'll do first is I usually put both lines together, or put the line together. Okay. Together as one. Nothing special. Okay. Just put them two together. Then I'll go through the eyelet. Okay. So now we got something that looks kind of like this. And in this situation, you want to make sure you got a good amount of line. So I'm making sure I got a good amount of line for the next step. So the next step, what I would do is do a regular over-under knot. So regular over-under. It's going to be over these two put together, come through that hole. Okay. Bam. That's a regular over-under. Now it's important that this hoop right here, and that's just changed over here. Important that this hoop right here is large enough to fit over top of your bait. Okay, I'm cutting it close here. Just made it over, but you send it over top of your bait. Okay, so you send it over top of your bait. Then you take your main line and you start pulling up. I don't want to cinch this down too hard. In this instance right here with this paracord, because I want to take it apart. But this is not going to come apart if I cinch it down hard enough. Okay, I still got a little bit of slack right here, but I don't want to go too hard. You guys get the concept. Pull main line. Man, paracord is pretty tough. Pull main line hard enough. We'll do it one more time. Okay. Again, I just put the two lines, put the line together. I'm going to connect the two. I'm not sure how you want to say this. It's not a hoop, not anything, whatever. Put two lines together and you send that through. Some people say, send your tag in through and then come back around. And it's just put the two together. Okay. Be careful not to drop your bait. Be careful with this process here. Okay. Give yourself plenty of line on that other side when you bring it through. Okay. So that's all you got, right? Then you take this line here. You do it over, under, not on this side, or to this side. Over, under, I guess, yeah. And you just put that hoop through that hole. Okay? And again, it's important that this hole is big enough to go around your bait. Okay? It goes around the bait. Okay? And you take that main line, center down. It's all right. It doesn't want to move. It's very tough. I'm going to show you with a regular braid because at least I know that will work. Okay. But that's it. That's Polymer Not. Polymer Not is my number 2. It doesn't finish like this. It cinches down, but I don't want to, mess up a paracord. I'm being a punk. Sorry. All right. We're going to try this again. We're going to try this real live here, and braid's a little easier to see. Okay. So I already put the line together. Okay, first step. Let's put the line together beside each other. If I can find the end of the line. Okay. So first step, put the line together. Okay. That's all I did. Put the line together. And then you take it through your little eyelet there. Okay. And again, you want to make sure you got a nice amount of line, good amount of slack. That's too short. You see how that's way close to that? You don't want it that close. So you pull, even it out so you got a good enough amount between the two. All right, so we have over, under, and you put it through the hoop. Oh, work with me, frog. Work with me, please. Let's back that up. So you got the two. So over, under, put this through the hoop. Okay, bam. So you have that. Make sure this hoop is big enough to fit over the entire bait. Otherwise, it will be a struggle. So once you've done that, this is the point we got to a paracord wouldn't work with us. But you take your main line, and all you do is start pulling away. You see how that thing cinches down beautifully? If you end up something like this too, with that tag in line, that tag in, right? It's going to pull that as well. Okay? Pull both together. A couple little taps there. Now this is 40-pound braid. I usually run 40-pound braid on majority of my top water stuff. Different scenarios calls for different braids. Again, right here, no need to go to the smallest, can't even see the edge of what you're cutting. I don't care if I left that much on. Again, if that fish can see that, it needs to be in the Olympics competing against Michael Phelps if he were in it, I guess. I don't know. All right. So that's that. That's what I do, how I tie my Polymer Not braid onto all my top waters. I'm going to give you guys a strength test. This is 40-pound braid. We're going to tie Polymer Not and somehow, some way tie Polymer Not down to the gas tank. Okay, so we're back to the gas tank. Again, we are full. Nothing's changed. Okay, it's full gas tank, full 3-gallon gas tank. Now, issue, I was not able to tie a Polymer Knot here, just too large of an item. So I tied a Uni Knot. Remember I said that a Uni Knot can go for braid and for fluorocarbon? Don't get me wrong. 9 times out of 10, I'm tying a polymer. Up here, I tied a Polymer Knot onto the scale. So let's turn the scale on. Scale showing 0, 0, 0. So let's clear that. All right, scale showing 0. All right, cool. So let's get the pulling. So again, scale has a polymer. Down there is a uni. Actually, might be able to lift this. I didn't even see what number I got to. Knot didn't break though. Knot's still there. Maybe I had some fray or something. Redo. Okay. Trial number 2. I'm gonna turn the scale on. Scale sitting at 0, 0. Okay. Now down here is a Uni Knot. I usually tie polymer, but Polymer Knot, this item is just a little too big to tie Polymer Knot, so I chose Uni Knot. Not saying I usually tie unis for braid, but again, I tie polymer 100% of the time when I use braid. On the scale itself, there is, I don't know if you guys can see that, there is a Polymer Knot attached to the scale. Okay, so we're gonna get the pulling. Scale's at 0. That's a full 3-gallon gas tank. Oh, this is gonna be hard. I already started pulling. Let's see if I can lift this thing. I did not see where it broke, but what caught me off guard, I actually started lifting that. That was actually kind of crazy. Did the knot break? Come on, focus. The knot did not break. My knot is still sitting there. So we get a better view. There it goes. Polymer Knot did not break. The line broke. Uni Knot, still good. The line snapped. This is 40-pound braid, still held on with a Uni Knot. I'm not sure the numbers. I mean, maybe you guys seen a glimpse of what the numbers got to. But I know I was well over 20 pounds. This is 40-pound braid. And like I said, I messed up by trying to see if I could lift it off the ground. I took my eyes off the prize. It started lifting off the ground. I was like, holy crap, that'll lift this thing up? And then at that moment, it's when it snapped. That's it, guys, for my little test here. You guys see me tie a Uni Knot and a Polymer Knot. Uni Knot usually I go with on fluorocarbon or monofilament, things like that. That's when I usually tie Uni Knot. And I'll tie a Polymer Knot on any braid application that I have, period. With the fluorocarbon line, just, the knot wouldn't break itself. I really have a lot of confidence in that knot. Also, a Polymer Knot, like, if you get hung onto a tree, you might as well bring down the branch with you using, heavy enough braid and you got that Polymer Not tied on. She's not going anywhere in my experience. That 9 times out of 10, I'll break the limb of that tree before I break my knot or break a line. Be safe when you do that. Don't snatch a bait out and come hit you in the face. Not cool. That's it, guys. You guys seen it. Seen my test. I apologize if I didn't get the proper footage of how heavy it got for that braid. But again, that you see neither knot broke. The line broke itself. That was the main focus of the test, to see if the knots will break. And I've seen neither knot broke. The fluorocarbon line broke and the braid line broke before the knot. That's it. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys go ahead, give me a follow on Instagram at SMD Fishing. I do appreciate it. You guys make sure you keep hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you guys can see the next video coming out in this series. Next video is going to be about what baits to buy. And there's a lot of baits out there. I got boxes full in there, boxes over here. Plenty of baits out there that we can talk about. But I just want to talk about baits for a beginner. I'm not going to get super detailed about when to use it. I'm going to give you guys just a few simple baits that anyone can buy. You can fish at a pond, lake, river, that doesn't matter. You can buy these baits fairly cheap and use them anywhere, okay? Almost anywhere. We'll get to that in the next video. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, follow me on Instagram. You guys can keep up with everything that I do on a daily or weekly basis, I guess you would say. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Share with a friend who might need to see that. Uni Knot, Polymer Not. It's the only 2 that I use. There's other knots out there that I've tried using. Not saying they're bad or anything like that, but just 2 quick knots. You can't go wrong with either one. Personally, is what I believe. And again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.